This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, the government announces traffic light system in next step for COVID, prompting mixed reviews from southerners. There'll be 2 Queenstown marathons next year, with the event planned for next month postponed to March 2022. And the lineup for the International Film Festival has been announced, with Dunedin movie buffs in for a real treat. Kia ora, tēnā koutou katoa, good evening, ko Melissa Barton aho. The government's announced a major overhaul of its COVID-19 rules, switching to a new 3-stage traffic light system. It's aiming to switch to traffic lights once 90% of the eligible population have received 2 doses of the Pfizer vaccine. However, Jacinda Ardern says restrictions could be relaxed early in the South Island. The government is using a carrot and stick approach, offering more freedoms for fully vaccinated Kiwis. There'd be no limits at hospitality venues or mass gatherings at the green or orange levels, provided vaccine certificates are used. Red would be used when the virus is spreading in a way that could threaten vulnerable people and overwhelm the health system. And there was a mixed but largely positive reaction in Dunedin to the announcements. We took to the streets with our camera crew to gauge the views of residents and business owners.
I think that's very positive. People see the positive side of it. There's a lot of people, they don't know what to do, but if we do it, give them a card, a passport, then they can see the positive side of it and they enjoy life more than they do now.
Well, I think it's a good idea, and I'm fully in favour of people having to be vaccinated before they go to large gatherings or festivals.
Lots of people are still working from home, the office buildings are half empty, we're ticking along just. So I guess if this traffic light system works and it actually brings in tourists, which I don't actually think they covered, I didn't hear anything about tourism in there, but we need tourists to keep this centre of the city vibrant. You know, we used to have thousands of people arrive daily on cruise ships, and we haven't had that this will be the 2nd year we haven't had that. So that will make a huge difference.
From what I understood, we're not going to go down a level until the 29th of November.
All in timing, isn't it? I mean, yeah, it'd be good to have a lot more freedom. I mean, we're still on level 2 at the moment, I think, and but as soon as we get back to level 1, I mean, like, that'd be great.
Should be open now, right now. It should have been open weeks ago.
Hopefully, we'll get there and get a lot more freedom.
And COVID has claimed another victim, with the Queenstown Marathon postponed until March next year. Last year's event injected about $10 million into the local economy. Queenstown Lakes District Mayor Jim Bolt is disappointed the event has been canned this year, especially as the South Island hasn't had a case of COVID-19 for a long time. He says the government needs to provide more certainty around when people from Auckland will be able to travel south to the resort. The postponement means there'll be 2 Queenstown marathons next year. Runners who have already registered will be contacted about transferring their entries over to next March. Students took a break from exam preparations this afternoon to help clean up the streets of North Dunedin. COVID-19 restrictions meant the tidy-up was on a smaller scale this time. The annual clean-up is held in memory of Otago University student Sophia Cristani, who died in a stairway pile-up at a flat party 2 years ago. Previous clean-ups have seen hundreds of students out en masse, filling rubbish skips. Organisers say this year's subdued clean-up marked the month in which Sophia died in 2019, with a larger clean-up planned for Orientation Week next year. Like many events, the New Zealand International Film Festival has been impacted by COVID-19, forcing the Auckland season to be cancelled. However, southern audiences will still get to see this year's movie selection on the big screen.
The show must go on, in most places at least, with only Tamaki Makaurau missing out on this year's leg of the New Zealand International Film Festival.
Well, Auckland is a significant part of our program usually, but we did want to go, we didn't think cancelling the whole event was necessary, since we can do things in the rest of the country.
The full program for Whānau Marama, the New Zealand International Film Festival, has been announced for its Dunedin season. Audiences can choose from more than 90 feature films sourced from 37 different countries.
I think if you look in the program and you search by country, you'll find every part of the globe represented.
The 17-day festival features screenings at both the Regent Theatre and Rialto Cinema from early November. Chairwoman Catherine Fitzgerald says cancellation of the Auckland event was a major blow, but organisers are keen to showcase the movies to as many people as possible.
I have to say 2020 used up our rainy day pot of reserves, and so we want to be here to live another day and to be here next July as well. And so I think it's a year where we'd really ask the people who fund us, which is the audience, to really think about how they can fund us this year, which is come and enjoy it.
Many of this year's movies have won major awards around the globe. Dunedin's gala opening night will feature Dame Jane Campion's new film, The Power of the Dog, partially shot in Dunedin.
We have prize winners going back to February 2020 from Berlin. So we've got 2 lots of Berlin, 2 lots of Cannes, 2 lots of Venice to draw on. So there's the most spectacular program I think we've ever had.
The festival will also entertain audiences in Wellington and Christchurch. And despite COVID seating restrictions, Dunedin's Regent Theatre retains its title as the biggest venue on the film festival's schedule. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. The drunken truck driver who damaged 9 cars in June is sentenced, and museum curators across the country join forces as they work to ban the trading of extinct animals' remains. So catch this and more after the break.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Welcome back. A drunk truck driver who slammed into 9 parked cars outside Dunedin Airport in June has been sentenced in court. Milton man Michael Waddell was driving towards Outram when he swerved to avoid hitting a car in the wrong lane. That action forced his truck to crash into a parked car, causing his steering to fail and the destruction to snowball. The 9-car pile-up caused more than $140,000 worth of damage to the vehicles. Waddell was sentenced to 9 months supervision, ordered to pay $1,500 in reparation and banned from driving for a year. A paraglider was spotted making the most of a rare southeasterly breeze to fly his paraglider at a Dunedin beach. John Copeland has been paragliding for 25 years and says he likes skimming close to the soft sand at St Kilda and St Clair beaches.
What I like about this sort of flying is I like to fly really close to the ground. You feel like you're going a lot faster, and the great thing about the beach is when you hit the ground, which I do relatively frequently, although I mostly avoided it today, is that it's reasonably soft.
Copeland says the wind in Dunedin only blows in the right direction for paragliding about 10 days a year. An Otago University student has created a delicious frozen dessert made with old bananas. Emily Stewart won the Premier Award at last night's Audacious Showcase for her natural ice cream style treat.
A business pitch with a tasty hook. Third-year Otago student Emily Stewart has been juggling her science and commerce studies with developing a cool new dessert in her home kitchen.
Frozen bananas resemble the consistency of ice cream, and we pride ourselves on no monkey business. So we take real ingredients and make a delicious new food product from bananas that otherwise would have been a waste.
She says while many brown bananas are thrown away, that's when they're at their sweetest, with many nutrients and antioxidants. Stewart's Zilla Nice Cream was one of the finalists at last night's Audacious Showcase organised by Startup Dunedin, with her frozen samples in hot demand.
It was great to see that all the judges really enjoyed it, and it was quite funny to see them almost fighting over the different flavours. I think peanut butter flavour was the most popular option.
Other options being developed include raspberry and white chocolate and cookies and cream. Stewart won 4 awards last night, including People's Choice, and recommends the program to other young entrepreneurs.
I would encourage any student to take on Audacious. You learn such a wide range of skills and really sets you up with the building blocks to perhaps take on your own business.
There's a number of steps to go before we'd see the banana dessert in supermarkets, but with plenty of willing taste testers, she's excited to see where Zilla Nice Cream can go. In Dunedin, The South Today.
A number of museum curators across the country are hoping to ban the trading of extinct animal remains. It's been a year since a proposal was submitted. An Otago Museum Natural Sciences curator is hoping for some action.
Removing the incentive to sell moa bone is the intent behind a proposal to ban the trade of extinct animal remains. A year on since the proposal was announced, Otago Museum Natural Sciences Assistant Curator Kane Fleury says the ban would hopefully stop people foraging for moa bone.
So having a ban on the trade of extinct species in New Zealand is important because it reduces the commercialisation and the incentives to go into sites like national parks and dock reserves, as well as foraging through midden material that is still present on the beaches around Otago and Southland and the rest of New Zealand.
He says when people remove and then trade moa bone from sites, it damages important archaeological information from the area and the remains.
They're often destroying a lot of contextual information. That contextual information is very important for unpicking the natural history of New Zealand. That information can be used to reconstruct the environments today, which have been heavily modified, which is really important for the conservation of our current species. Also looking at how to prevent things from going extinct, and also reconstructing and reintroducing animals into habitats where they have locally gone extinct from but are present elsewhere in New Zealand.
Fleury says the trading of extinct animal remains is a nationwide issue.
So the submission that the Otago Museum made was the same submission that all of the other curators of natural history collections as well as researchers around the country made. So we made a joint submission with them to show our solidarity for all agreeing as a unified voice on the same things, and that was the ban of the trade of extinct wildlife in New Zealand.
Fleury is hopeful there will be some action soon once local iwi have had the chance to consult on the bill. In Invercargill, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, Dunedin Motocross star Courtney Duncan looks on track to claim her third World Championship title, and we take a look at the weather heading into the weekend. So see you after the break.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Thanks for staying with us. Dunedin Motocross star Courtney Duncan is looking on track to claim her third consecutive World Championship title this weekend. Duncan scored a first and second place finish in the penultimate round of the Women's Motocross World Championship last weekend in Spain. The defending champion did suffer a crash late in her first race of that round, but dug deep to ride with a fractured finger in her second race. Riding through the pain helped the 25-year-old extend her lead at the top of the standings, with breathing room over her Dutch and Italian rivals. Duncan's final races are in Trentino, Italy this weekend, one of her favourite tracks. International rally driver Emma Gilmour is set to take on some of the world's best in Italy. It's the Dunedin driver's second race in the Extreme E Series, and Gilmour is fired up.
Emma Gilmour is charged up and ready for round 2 of the Extreme E Series. The electric off-road motor racing competition hits Italy this weekend.
The course looks like it's going to be really challenging, quite different from Greenland. The surface is very dry and dirt, with a bit of gravel and sand in a few spots, but largely hard-packed dirt.
The Extreme E Series is split between male and female rally drivers. Gilmour and male counterpart Stefan Sarrazin are currently 7th place on the leaderboard after making their debut in Greenland earlier this year. The pair are hoping to get off to a good start, with few opportunities to pass on this course.
The track is very much sort of one line, so you sort of have to keep to that, so it's going to be really quite difficult to overtake.
The UK's Molly Taylor and Swiss driver Johan Kristoffersen currently lead the competition. Gilmour's enjoying being behind the wheel of a world-leading electric SUV rally car. But New Zealand's MIQ process is proving a major bump in the road.
My partner Brendan played the lottery for the 5th time for me on Thursday, and once again we didn't have any joy, so chances of getting home for Christmas are getting slimmer and slimmer, but I'll keep my fingers crossed, and yeah, maybe rules around MIQ might start to change.
For now, it's pedal to the metal for Gilmour as her Veloce racing team look to take their 400 kilowatt Odyssey 21 to success in Sardinia. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The government has announced a new traffic light system to manage COVID-19 across New Zealand, prompting mixed reactions from southerners. There'll be 2 Queenstown marathons next year, with the event planned for next month postponed to March 2022. And the lineup for the International Film Festival has been revealed, with more than 90 movies for the Dunedin season. And time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, Dunedin on a great spring day. Looking at the situation, expect warmer temperatures with a northeasterly airflow throughout the long weekend, with mostly fine weather and mild temperatures. Looking at the northwest of the South Island, clouds and rain are due for the west coasters this weekend. Both Westport and Greymouth are looking at 17-degree highs with rain. Moving to the northeast, the cloud continues for this region, but it will be dry. Nelson will see a high of 15 degrees, while Blenheim is a bit brighter and warmer on 18. Moving down to Canterbury, mostly sunny with the occasional cloud and moderate winds for all here. Kaikoura heads for 16, Christchurch 14 with 18 degrees for Ashburton. Looking at the southern towns, moderate northeasterlies with some cloud around these centres. The Catlins hopes for 15, Balclutha and Lumsden are seeking 17 degrees each, while it should reach 16 in Gore. Looking at what's in store for the Central Lakes area, high cloud and blue skies for Central, with Wanaka and Queenstown going for 19, Alexandra 20 degrees, while Tiana is in line for showers and 15 degrees. Travelling northwards, we see along the coast, Timaru and Oamaru are in for moderate to fresh northeasterlies with cloudy skies and a high of 15 degrees. Inland, Twizel and Marama can expect light northerlies with some high cloud and a high of 20 degrees. In Dunedin, cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 8 degrees. And it's going to be mostly cloudy tomorrow and Sunday, but the cloud may break with a few sunny periods possible in the afternoons. Expect fresh, breezy northeasterly winds with cool temperatures. Tomorrow's high is 15 with a low of 9 degrees, and Sunday's high is 18 with an overnight low of 9. And in Invercargill, there will be a cover of low cloud and mist tonight with an overnight low of 9 degrees. Tomorrow and Sunday are fine with sunny periods and some high cloud. Moderate northerly winds bring mild temperatures, looking at a high of 17 and a low of 9 degrees tomorrow, and a high of 19 and a low of 9 degrees on Sunday. And that's all our news for this Friday and indeed the week. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. Remember to like and subscribe, subscribe to Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube so you can receive notifications of the up-to-date content. Nō reira, kia pai te pou, ka kite anō.
The This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.